See what's happening in India. New Delhi talk.
Here, as far as we are aware, recognizes them, and India, of course, absolutely does not recognize Chinese Taipei as anything but at this time, a ceded state, which has no international recognition. However, India believes
it is a rebellious.
Yes, a rebellious state, indeed.
Yeah.
We wish to make it clear that we believe that this bloc will thrive if no talk of politics or matters exist within it. This must be a purely economic bloc, because there will always be differences between our nations in the forms that we run, in the fact that we all have interests in different areas. But what should be seen as true is that we are the world's greatest emerging powers, and that by working together, we can make each other's economy stronger than by working alone. And that is why India believes that this is an important bloc to exist.
We agree with this statement.
As do we.
Russia was going to say, make very same statement. We appreciate India taking our same position about this being an economic bloc and not a political one. We've said the very same thing to India before, and to many other nations here, that this is an economic, proposal. This is not a political organization. Our countries may grow apart, politically. There may be issues between us, but it should not threaten the cooperation of our countries economically. If we were to, divide ourselves and not cooperate economically, we would be absolutely trampled by the unilateral, economic power of the West. We've already seen the United States and many other Western lackeys, use their economic power to subjugate countries that do not bend to their will. And it is obviously all of us here that are not willing and ready to let this happen to us. If one of us falls, we all become weaker. So we must stand together economically and protect our own interests.
Yes.
This is our position.
Yes. China does agree with the Russian position, wholeheartedly.
The South African delegate also does agree with the position. We only have a few things that, from our side, that we'd like to clear up, and that if we are going to form this as more of a economical group, there are some contradictions that might occur. That being the WCIS. That has been formed. Can the delegate from the People's Republic just explain? You are part of that WCIS, or am I?
Yes, we are part of this, but our position is that such economical union as BRICS will be far outweighing the WCIS, and we will speak with the North Korean delegation about some of those points that they made to change that to that our membership of the of BRICS, of potential BRICS, will not break any points in the WCIS.
Understood. Okay. We'll have to see how this develops for us personally, because that economic group has basically at this point cut us off from the continent, quite literally from the border-wise. So it is, as it currently stands, our main competitor and one of our main issues that is regressing our own development. So there is going to be a big contradiction there for us, but we'll just have to see how it goes.
I mean, the PSC is ready to mediate between the South Africa, North Korea, to have talks that you are no longer cut off to anything. Our goal is not to cut off nations from anything. Our goal is to develop, especially in Africa. So that shouldn't happen.
Sorry, just to be clear, we aren't quite literally. They haven't literally cut us off. But sorry, I'll have to rephrase that. What I mean by that is their position on the continent means that they have an overarching advantage against us, should they need to or want to, or should contention raise, which is probably heading that way in the future.
Mm-hmm.
That is our main concern at this current time.
I just wanted to know that the PRC takes your concern very seriously, and we will bring this up with the North Koreans.
Okay. Understood. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
No problem.
As for that's our only main concern from the South African side.
Now then, we would like to somewhat discuss how India sees this bloc existing and continuing. We see this, of course, as the most obvious term as a free trade agreement between these nations of free and cheaper trades to ensure that we trade within each other and within each other's nations. As we know, that such trade is in truth, is a emboldening of both nations. And we believe that when any nation within the bloc is looking for investment or looking to invest, they should seek members of BRICS first for these moves, so that we can all strengthen each other in growth.
Brazil seconds.
China seconds.
Yeah.
Russia.
Hello.
Yeah, Jay. So like we're trying to sell the ships to each other, and it's given him like.
Yes, God forbid.
Yeah, because I'm not really interested in sons, if you know what I'm saying, my brother.
Oh, nobody's interested in sun, but mainly in what lies behind or underneath the suns, I should say. Oh,
More sons.
vast quantities
More
of raw petroleum and gas.
Where do you see petroleum, my brother? I see only sand, more sand, and then a little bit more sand and some jungle.
Okay, I'm gonna go snoop in on the New Delhi talks again.
Alright.
Excellent. Well, in about a month or 2 months, 3 months, there we go, 3 months, India will be ready to complete formalization of all of these documents. And if we get all of our signatures today, we will formalize and officially create BRICS.
Excellent.
BRICS is being created. I just realized that. That clicked right at the end. Oh my god. That's what that was. Australia and the Defense Secretary. I work with an independent press outlet. Would you guys be able to inform the public about what your meeting entailed?
I will just approve the sale of.
Whoa, I think that's classified.
It's
Is it
not gonna be
classified?
very much
Mr.
classified
Secretary?
when they sell there on the dock. I think
Well,
it's hard to classify something as big of a ship as a ship.
don't tell them. No, go ahead.
I'm sure it will eventually have to go through a port of entry, which is heavily monitored by many nations around the world, so...
No, okay, to be honest, the Americans were kind enough to sell us a few naval vessels, so we can bolster our naval defenses in the future.
Well, congratulations.
Venezuela, buenos dias. ¿Qué tal?
Buenos dias. We're gonna require more factories.
Definitely, we totally agree. And we will expand our mutual investments.
Because our bureaucracy takes 70 days, aka I can't wait for this shit. The democracy needs to happen now.
The democracy needs to happen now. This is a beautiful statement, sir. Mr. Cheney, write this down for my next speech. This is a great statement. Venezuela, my friend, we will do a mutual deal very soon. And I would appreciate if you could keep me up to date about Mercosur and Brazil's behavior and everything, you know?
We're liking the American, what's it called? The protection. No more Chinese, no more Russians. The Russians are mostly fat tourists that basically roleplay the act of being a whale that's being pushed up on the shore. But that's beside the point.
We totally agree. Yes. They are very fat. Continue, sir.
We're going to be helping Colombia deal with its issue as its debt wants to rival the U.S. debt. That's about it from Venezuela's standpoint.
Is there any UN resolution that I should be aware of?
That of I know, not really. And have a safe trip. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Mr. Cheney.
Oh, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Just a reporter. I was hoping to understand the policy that the president is taking with selling some of the military equipment that the United States has to some of our allies. I'm a freelance journalist,
Which equipment are you speaking of?
mainly more obviously public deals that entail more basic means of equipment like small arms, rifles, and potential aircraft. Are there deals on the table for potential aircraft, Mr. Vice President, to be sold?
I cannot speak about these subjects while they're ongoing.
Fair enough. I could understand that. Do you think that this
Once
improves
these
America's
dealings are
standing?
more... Say again?
Do you believe that this will improve America's standing in the world amongst its allies? Or do you believe it will drive away potential partners?
No, we believe we are strengthening our allies.
Very well. Thank you for your time, Mr. Cheney.
Thank you.
All right. Is it really only 3? See what Russia's doing.
Civil war in Ukraine, that's all it is. This is fucking interesting. Okay.
You can
I
use
will
it.
fucking yoink.
Damn.
Is that how that works?
So sad.
Yeah, but then nothing happened. It's a fucking...
Yep, yoink. It's a puppet.
Oh, man. Yeah, alright.
So
Before
cool.
everybody gets fucking mad at me for doing this, I did not have sexual relations with this country. I did not do it.
China has no right in its own to do this.
We agree.
China has
and
no right
provide
to sell
weapons.
weapons to any sovereign nation in the world.
Then, sure, let's go with that. You can do whatever you want with that.
Yeah,
Then
and
the delegations of the French and the Europeans and the USA have every right in the world, without any retaliation from China, to go to Taiwan to talk about simple economic ship.
Maybe even more than that.
if that happens, China will intensify its arms shipments to Cuba even more. If we want to have,
Well, then we can do our own blockade against Cuba, which we, by the way, do. We literally have a blockade. So I wonder how these things even arrive there. But well, then they should never arrive there. If China thinks that it can blockade the island of Taiwan, then I can tell you that America has 10 times as abilities as that China does. It is not a secret that we have the mightiest navy in the world, the mightiest air force in the world, and the mightiest armed forces in the world. If China wants to meet us on a military level, we are more than welcome to meet you, sir. But I don't think that this is your goal. This shouldn't be your goal, as this would be very deadly.
That's not your goal, as China is ready to deliver other means of military assets against its adversaries.
Against its adversaries? What is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, that is open to your interpretation.
This is not open to interpretation. We need very clearly here: is this a threat to
Europe and to America?
Europe and to America? Because that would be if that is a threat, then we will have to take our actions too. We just want to make it very clear.
We can change
that the PLA is ready to defend its national interests and the interests of China against anyone who
just as the United States, just as the United States and our allies.
France has currently as a group in Guam too.
We want to remind the French delegate that
we want to make it very clear
in a matter of 5 minutes.
This is a threat again.
French missiles will be able to hit.
It's just a reminder that we don't seek escalation.
I'll give you a reminder too. French missiles can reach from all over the globe to Beijing with
just as American missiles.
Nuclear weapons. That is, you cannot.
Okay, now you did bring up the nuclear threat. China did not do this.
As you said.
China did 20 other threats.
As you said, this is not a threat. This is not a threat.
Right now by the French delegate is something that is unprecedented
we demand that the Chinese would let us speak, as this is an actual talk and not Chinese.
China doesn't even have deployed nuclear weapons at all.
This is not Hu Jintao's speech here. We are having a conversation. You cannot speak over me. So, you yourself said that it's a simpler reminder. So I'll give you that too. It's a simpler reminder. And I don't want you to play with those reminders, as you know the consequences. We don't want a war. We don't want anything to happen. We want a peaceful world. And you're not contributing to it currently.
I like how they're arguing so much about this, which is basically the status quo in Asia at the moment. when Europe is literally on fire, like the Ukraine is not doing too hot. They're arguing about missile ranges, and Russia's just capitalizing on this. They're just doing their own thing in their own sphere. Nobody's batting an eye at the moment. Anyway, let's get back to listening.
It just speaks volumes that an ex-colonizer speaks like that.
We have already renounced all our colonialism, and I don't want to go into talking to it. This is not a history lesson. Let's hope over that, will you?
Well, then don't lecture me about Taiwan when the French hold Guyana.
Guyana is
fully integrated into France. Stay on topic, people. Stay on topic. We don't need to start talking about semantics of different territories around the world.
I've been trying to do
Then we asked the French delegation of not doing any more semantics and actually produce a productive argument.
Okay, gentlemen. Let's just not sit here for a back and forth tit for tat. Let's get down to the issue. What is the issue? Let's highlight it. What are we prepared to compromise on? Let's get these talks moving.
Yeah, well, the issue that China wants to outline here is the massive rushing of EU and American delegates to Chinese Taipei, and the aggressive posturing with the coinciding C2 exercises in the Philippines.
Yo.
Okay, gentlemen.
Republic of Korea.
The first Special Forces Operation Brigade will be reconvening with the German ones in Bertjev.
That's actually where they're fighting right now.
Our main mission here is just to stabilize the lines until some kind of peace talks begin.
Yep. Nothing bad going on. Just a bunch of dudes in a foreign nation.
Russia calls for France to stand down from everything, or Russia will respond once again.
Cool.
I think the point here I'm also trying to make is that while it's easy to incarcerate my own navy and say that they don't know what they're doing and they risked a diplomatic incident, that might all be true. But I do believe them when they say that they felt like they were under attack. And what happened in the Philippine Sea is nothing short of a provocation. I mean, buzzing a combined fleet with H-6 naval bombers is not something I think you can just shrug off.
Yes, we accept that. Why is Russia at war with Ukraine?
What?
Sorry.
What?
Russia is at war with Ukraine.
Huh.
Well,
that's troubling.
That is very troubling.
France and the Czech Republic have one final chance to stand down with their illegal invasion. Russia will respond. Russia declared full military intervention into the Ukrainian conflict.
Oh wow.
Okay, how's NATO?
Yeah,
ready?
I'm redeploying myself, but we need to bring
everybody with forces. I would just would you not just pull them out? I think everybody should just pull them out and
let's pull them out
later. Like everybody just recall them because there's no, you can't hold off the whole Russian army.
Look, I could probably, I could protect.
Actually,
We could hold.
If you can hold the Dnieper, whatever it's called, is that the Dnieper?
Russians are attacking.
I'm delaying them around.
Russians are attacking German troops.
I'm Canadian troops. How?
Gentlemen!
The Chinese delegation wants to ask
Gentlemen.
will Russia consider this as war? Did you have spoken with Mr. Putin?
Well, American troops and German troops are currently getting attacked by Russian tanks.
Simply defending the embassy within Kyiv.
Finish,
Gentlemen!
Ooh, that's too loud.
Hello? Oh, finally.
Oh, I am simply just a security guard, making sure that all delegations are safe and secure during this time.
Okay, so Ukraine's getting invaded.
Yes, Ukraine is currently.
What happened
getting
during the
invaded.
meeting? Like, what did France say? I assume it didn't go well, but I
They
couldn't
weren't
hear.
fucking. The South Korean troops and everybody kept fucking pushing in, so they weren't negotiating in good faith. So we just kicked them out of Moscow and said that we would respond. And this is a response. I'm going to push like halfway across probably encircle some troops, and then stop. Just pretty much get the same borders that were right before they capitulated Kharkiv.
You can get like
Roughly
300,000 immigrants from this war.
Yeah.
And
it's,
it is not, it's good for business, not good for
That's my fucking...
much else.
Yeah, it'll be alright.
Oh my gosh, wait, this is really bad. You might need to invade me.
I need to invade you? What? What is going on right now, dude?
I have
what are you talking about?
39%. Inconclusive outcome for uh-oh.
Hey, by the way, can someone
Oh,
else
that's
sit
okay.
in
You can
Odessa
just
for me? I'm gonna do something real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna invite the libertarians.
I'm
Is that
already in
fine?
Odessa. No, I'm not in Odessa. No, don't. don't. Like,
Mr. Putin.
Yes, my friend, yes.
We just received word that Russia invaded Ukraine.
We're conducting a small military operation within Ukraine to counteract a Western invasion of the Donbass and Novorasian republics.
I need to stress that immediate talks between Russia and NATO should take place at this second.
We have
This
already
is
tried to
dangerous.
conduct these talks with France, who has led the military operation within Ukraine, and these talks did not end favorably. They refused to negotiate in good faith and continue their offensive operations in the country. So we have sent a contingent of about 200,000 soldiers to Ukraine to address this this security issue.
I hope Russia is not considering, or NATO is not considering, any direct strikes on NATO countries as well.
Russia is not considering, has not declared open war against NATO. We have demanded that they withdraw their troops from Ukraine, and in response for their, lack of withdrawal, we have conducted our own operation within Ukraine, but we do not consider ourselves in direct war with these nation states. Not this time.
But you cannot say that you are not in open war when you've attacked French troops now.
We have not attacked French troops.
You have
French troops
attacked.
have
We
us.
had it confirmed you have attacked French troops.
They have attacked us. We have not done any hostile actions against French troops. Canadian
Would it
troops have
not
attacked
be
us.
would it not be wise at this time for the Russian troops to retreat across the Dnieper and wait for
It would be
possible
wise for the
talks to
French
take
troops
place?
to stop invading a post-Soviet state. This is our security issue.
A
Belarus is
post-Soviet
dealing with a
state who
massive,
was fighting a civil war.
A civil war which we were not intervening in until a Western coalition led by France invaded Ukraine, thus continuing to destabilize the conflict, which was about to end.
fight. They joined to send volunteers against a civil war, which is entirely within the rights
These were
and
not
charters which are
volunteers.
held.
These were under the direct command of Russian, of French leadership. This was
They were,
under
they
direct
were, they
command of the
were,
French.
they were still sent as peacekeeping units, which is allowed by conventions.
It is not peacekeeping units when they're conducting offensive operations against these states in.
It was
in the East.
peacekeeping operations in Kosovo back in the 90s. There was
And we do
offensive
not
operations
recognize those
involved there.
as peacekeeping operations in Kosovo.
But they are
and
still- but it
peacekeeping
is
is to
still-
hold the peace.
And
They
it's,
were
and it's
aggressively
peacekeeping
assaulting these
operations to
lands.
now be pushing into Belgrade and Zokchik.
We're not pushing. We're securing the territory. These borders were already.
That is a complete lie.
This land was already secured by the Donbass republics, and we are currently just holding security. We're not attempting to push too far. We want the West to leave Ukraine. That is it. It's a post-Soviet state. It is our security issue.
Then these talks should be held by returning to a neutral point, by returning or by ceasing all pushes.
We will cease. You can act as mediator. We will cease
We
our
will act as
offensive
mediator, cease
operations
all offenses.
if they will now negotiate in good faith. Russia currently
This is
holds its
interesting.
positions.
This is early, but it could have happened.
They will cease attacks. I can act as a mediator if you want me to, Russia.
All right.
What is-
Russia has ceased offensive operations as well.
We stood strong against the South Korean menace.
What do you? What is the Russian terms at this time for the Russian retreat out of Ukraine?
A complete withdrawal of all Western military troops, non-NATO troops.
Mr. Putin.
Ukraine will. Ukraine will stay as a neutral country, and its existence as a country will be enshrined in treaty. The Donetsk People's Republic, the Luhansk People's Republic, the Kharkiv People's Republic, and the Odessa People's Republic will become free and be recognized as independent states with their own international recognition. And again, in exchange, the remainder of Ukraine will act as a completely neutral state. That existence will be guaranteed.
I will relay this information.
Very good.
Mr. Putin, I'm here to
Yes.
unfortunately inform you that China needs to put sanctions on Russia. We see this whole action as destabilizing to the whole world and world peace. With active fighting against NATO troops, this is a dangerous precedent for
My
the whole
friend, we are not actively fighting against NATO troops. So allow me to explain the course of events. Okay, you can see this on television news. Okay, Russia disavowed any foreign intervention and meddling, even of our own accord, in the Ukrainian conflict. The conflict was about to end. The Eastern forces had overwhelmed the Ukrainian forces and were about to establish a treaty with this country simply for the existence of their own states. Okay, France openly sent its own military forces, a large amount. We could see this. Okay, we have we have satellites over the region. Sent a full military intervention into Ukraine to attack countries that Russia, had guaranteed the independence of and recognized as individual states. We are already engaging in our own diplomacy, and we hosted a summit in Moscow for these states. This was the beginning of a new era in Eastern Europe, a new turn of events just for a few small nations. France intervened illegally without the approval of the United Nations Security Council in a conflict across a continent from them that had nothing to do with them. And when Russian forces began a military operation to secure the existence of the Donetsk People's Republic, after the Kharkiv People's Republic was capitulated, French and other unknown NATO Western troops engaged in open conflict with Russian troops. We have at all sides tried to not attack Western troops. You can see now the borders have stabilized. Western troops are garrisoning Kiev and the western of Ukraine, which we have stopped our assault on because we do not want for an explosion of diplomatic incidents, and that is how this war has gone. It has not been an aggressive action by Russia. It has been defensive action in defense of the states that we recognize as independent. That is it, and we are in negotiations right now with India as a mediator for us to withdraw and to recognize Ukraine as an independent state. These negotiations are ongoing, and we've sent favorable and very, very, very well-intentioned terms to the West. We still don't even know who we fight. Only the French have, shown their flag publicly. I'm sorry, you may not speak.
Yes, it is just.
What's up?
Russians, in times of war, when the borders are changing very quickly and troops are moving, Ukrainian forces are firing on Russian forces. Russian forces are firing on Ukrainian forces. Donetsk troops are firing on French forces. And we witness a withdrawal of French troops from the east very quickly, and it's very possible that us cutting them off unintentionally cause them to withdraw into the line of Russian troops, and misfires could of course happen. We recognize this is a possibility, but we can promise that there has been no directive given for Russian troops to engage French troops, and we have ordered them to stand down in the face of Western troops. We do not wish for a declaration of war against this nation. We're proponents of peace.
Let's check in on India and their supposed mediation of this.
To meet at diplomatic tables.
Canada's suggestion is very correct.
Thank you,
We mean no offense, United States, but it seems to us you're more interested in fighting this battle rather than coming to a negotiating table.
What is this suggestion? This is completely false.
Crimea ceded
Wait, let me
peacefully.
speak. You accused me of something. Let me just defend my ass. So many NATO nations wanted to state-sponsored troops. You all are my witness. I said no. We should only allow normal, non-state official volunteers to fight. So does that look like I want to kill people?
And why did France send troops?
Because I am
France is a sovereign nation. I am not the owner of France.
Then condemnation of France would be a step. 'Cause it was
Okay, we can condemn France after we condemn Russia.
We will happily condemn Russia. We will happily condemn Russia. We've already sanctioned Russia.
We have already said that we will definitely go into it, and we will apologize for our very quick response. It was simply to stabilize and not let Ukraine die to Russian influence. That is, we will apologize, yes, sure. But we want the same response from Russia.
Yes.
If not, then we're not going to do it.
Very well. I will mediate that we are seeking terms of apology on both sides, but I will expect that they will demand far more.
Which says a lot about them.
Yes.
Russia claimed that the French army entered without UN mandate in Ukraine. And
I mean,
where was their UN mandate?
Where was there?
I mean, I'm just trying to mediate here and figure out what's going on for the People's Republic of China. I'm also going to say the same thing that I said to Russia. We urge NATO to not do any destabilizing steps that could lead to World War III here.
Yeah, no, we're simply holding a defensive position here.
Exactly.
This
This is not even a NATO action. This is just France is there as a nation. We don't have official troops there.
There's a corridor at Kiev.
Yeah, but both
Corridor
nations
Kiev
are nuclear
remains
armed, so we are kind of cautious about the situation.
Understandably so.
Yes. Yeah, very insightful.
Back to Moscow.
I
Russia will continue to garrison Kharkiv. And we will continue a garrison of the northern states of Ukraine as the conflict progresses, because this will act as buffer zone, so refugees do not flood across the border into southern Russia. We will withdraw from from the rest of Ukraine, and we will monitor very closely that no more Russian, no more Western non-Ukrainian forces operate in against Odessa or against the Donetsk People's Republic.
What if we make a suggestion of referendums held for these contested regions? I've noted that there have been multiple who have said that they hold less issue with Crimea simply as it was a peaceful rising compared to these 4 other states. Would it not be best to allow for the military side of this to fall and instead for referendums to be held?
The currently held territories of Luhansk People's Republic, of the territory that Donetsk People's Republic currently holds south of the Dnieper, the territory that Odessa's People's Republic currently holds, and the state of Kharkiv will be established as independent regions. We have our own diplomacy with them. I will, we do not have any concrete plans to institute a referendum, but we do have diplomacy with these states. They will be established as free states, all right, independent.
I can assure the West will not stand for that as a resolution.
This is already how it is. They already have their own diplomacy. They interact with the Eastern Bloc already. They interact with CSTO, other nations in the region. They hold this territory, and Russia can hold hold Eastern Ukraine forever. But we don't want a situation like North and South Korea. We don't want
let us rephrase on the original idea, and this is what I think. If I understand what you're saying, this is what I will propose. Russian troops withdraw to Sumy and Kharkiv, and will engage in no part of the primary fighting, provided all Western troops, or state-sponsored troops, leave, and then the quote-unquote fighting between Donetsk and Odessa and Ukraine will resume.
Now that I think about it, why do we even permit for for this war to continue? This war was destabilizing to our region, not to theirs.
We understand that, but But
Belarus is currently fielding a refugee.
And of course, but the alternative here is that this escalates to a war.
We need to enforce a ceasefire. This is what we need to do. Enforce
Then-
a ceasefire for the conflict, for Ukraine.
But we need to establish borders of a ceasefire.
We can do this. We can establish borders of a ceasefire, but and we're willing to return much of sovereign Ukrainian territory, a territory that we currently hold. Much of this is very, very Russian. A lot of people speak Russian here. All right, and we are willing to withdraw these territories, all of them, with exclusion to Kharkiv, as this was a breakaway republic as well. This was a recognized
Very
republic. We're willing to withdraw, but the borders as is for the other states will stay as is.
I will speak
out
to
of
the
character,
West.
Okay, all right.
Terms for a ceasefire would be that they will withdraw from all regions but Kharkiv, and that
Kharkiv will not. That's.
And that can. I'm stating their terms. Can we stop
Let
interrupting?
India speak. Let India speak.
They will keep troops in Kharkiv, or they will retain Kharkiv. Luhansk and Donetsk and Odessa will keep their current lands, but will not be recognized by any nation, as the ceasefire will be held on all nations' terms.
Thank you for telling us. Was this all? Because
This was their terms.
Okay, so America, after careful consideration, is ready to accept what was proposed before that. Basically, that we agree for Crimea being Russian, but everything else has to return to Ukraine. And we appreciate India mediating on this. We would also like to state that our sanctions against Russia are very effective, and Mr. Putin knows that. And yeah.
Very well, I will inform of this.
I don't think he was actually prepared for that rapid of a response.
Dangerous, and so their terms will include a lifting of sanctions. However, they request a return to Ukraine's original borders. However, they will recognize Crimea as Russian entirely.
No, Crimea is already Russian. We already have plenty of states that
internationally, if you understand my meaning.
We understand, but this is not. It is not the leverage that I think this is. What matters right now, what they need to understand, is there is a war. People have died. People are continuing to die. They have frontline troops against.
And they
Russian
are offering a
frontline troops.
ceasefire of their own.
A ceasefire, is good, and we would happily engage in a ceasefire and begin to withdraw the majority of Russian troops.
They will not consider that. They will not consider a ceasefire as long as one remains in territories and Ukraine is held in this status quo or in this limbo.
Ukraine will not be held in this limbo if they recognize. They don't even need to recognize the breakaway states, but they need to recognize that Ukraine is not their playground. They cannot come and send troops and kill Russians and kill whoever they want because they want to play, chess.
And I believe they will. France has already been ordered, and France has agreed that they will give full apologies. And I believe that we can even escalate this to UN statements about the future of volunteer warfare and involvement of this form. And India completely agrees.
What you
France
suggest
stepped
right
way
now
over
are
the line.
treaties. What you suggest right now are treaties, which the West has openly defied. Consistently, they defied the 1957 or 1955 Austrian state treaty. They defied the recognition of Ukrainian neutrality. They defied all of these kind of things. This is how they operate. So we would need more. We want to end this conflict because we need to end this conflict. This conflict is already in the process of being ended on its own, and it is them who've caused the loss of life in this issue. In this situation, already 300 Russian soldiers have died as a result of this needless war. Again, you don't understand. The refugee crisis is not something that can be scoffed at. This has completely destabilized Belarus. It is completely destabilizing, our states on the border. And it's a war that they decided to continue. They made it happen so that it would not end. Ukraine was about to crumble. All right. What we need is a cease to the war, the entire war. Russia is already in too deep. A withdrawal and allowing this war to continue leaves Russia as the loser in this situation. All right. It leaves all of Eastern Europe as a loser in this situation. We will not allow this. The war needs to end, and we're willing to negotiate terms.
The issue as it stands was that what we are saying, if we allow for this to hold as it has, and for these terms to end in this way. And I truly believe this, is we are essentially stating to militants across the world, which India despises the rising of militants, that if they should rise against their government, and fight in bloody bloodshed, that they should be rewarded by these peace terms. This is why we want to reward or allow Crimea. Crimea rose in bloodless
This
form.
is how the existence of many. It was not bloodless. It was Ukraine that chose to not fight Crimea because they were already surrounded on two fronts. They did not want a three-front war. They wanted a two-front war that they believed they could handle, and they could not. This is why it happened. These people that rose up, they rose up peacefully, and it was Ukraine that declared against them. Okay, and also many nation states have rose through revolution throughout all of the world. The United States, Russia,
this is a
India,
modern. This is
Pakistan,
a modern Europe.
China. This is a modern world, revolution and sovereignty and independence that has not ended in the modern world. It has not. Okay. Now we did not support the violent insurrection or a coup. We did not do anything like this. These people wanted independence. They say they got influence from they expected the same treatment that Russia gave Tatarstan or Dagestan. And they were not given this by Ukraine. We tried to get Ukraine to negotiate with them. They didn't.
And I understand. Then, if this is their true, this is the true feelings of the people, can we not? If it is the people's wish, hold these referendums, return Ukraine to a status quo, impose UN elections and referendums in these regions, and if they vote independence, then there is nothing the West can do.
Yes, we want to do this, but the bloodshed needs to end.
Then return borders to how they stood.
We cannot return the borders of what the Donetsk People's Republic has taken. We cannot do this.
That is not what is being stated. What is being stated.
But we
is
can
that,
enforce peace. We hold considerable influence over these countries. We can enforce peace, and we can tell them you will take no more land. They have rebelled for the South, and the South will continue. It will continue its independence. We will return all other Ukrainian territory.
Then would Russia agree, after that fact, that referendums should be held in each of these lands to determine whether they remain or whether they... referendums...
No, yes, it is on their own sovereignty. It was their choice to rebel in these states.
But what if the states they have conquered? Kherson, Zaporizhia, Milkotov. These have to be held in referendum. These lands did not rise with the next.
These were taken in conjunction with the people on the ground in these states. We will agree.
That is not a referendum. That is not how a referendum
we understand.
is held.
We will agree that the referendum that is internationally viewed, okay, can be held in these territories, okay. But for that to happen, it must. You cannot. It would be the Donetsk People's Republic that holds the referendum. And for you to internationally, witness a referendum, they would need to be recognized as a sovereign state. I don't know if the West is willing to do this.
I do not expect they will be willing to do this. No.
So this is a problem. It is too much, contradiction, in this issue. We believe
I believe there is contradiction yourself. I believe all sides have contradictions. I believe that this is a messy and a badly handled conflict by all involved. It is the simple fact of this war. And I think that there is no right answer. I do want a ceasefire, but I believe that the West will not agree to a ceasefire if things are held in perpetuity in this way. And I understand that you say the sanctions have not been effective.
Very well.
They have.
You may. I can speak with the Donetsk People's Republic, and I can potentially influence them to release the states of Kherson and Zaporozhia. Release their claim on this. I can hold on. I could potentially do this, but a ceasefire needs to happen. The states of Kharkiv, Luhansk, and Donetsk, and Odessa need to be recognized as independent. And Western forces must leave Ukraine.
I will push.
Russia will do the same. Very good.
Japan.
What is the?
That's your problem, North Korea. That's on you, North Korea. Wait, why are the Chinese bordering on the border?
What you I wasn't paying attention.
I need to go talk to China.
China.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I need to go talk to China fucking immediately.
I also need to talk to China immediately.
Yes, I need to.
That's a pretty big problem. So are we getting a ceasefire with, or what's going on?
Yeah, we're working on it. We're likely going to get.
Mr. Putin, can we have licensed production of the T90, please?
Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely.
Thank you. As currently we have.
They have in their terms they are calling your bluff. They believe the economic sanctions are worse than you believe they are, and they are going to be holding their defenses. I believe this is the end of talks.
They want this war to continue. They must know that if they do not withdraw their troops, they will be seen as foreign agitators in the Russian conflict, and they will be treated as hostiles.
Then
tell them this.
Well,
tell them this.
Then we will state this to them as final terms.
All right, very good. Thank you for your mediation.
We would also like the Tunguska, please.
You may have.
Thank you. We will request some other things as well.
Good.
And we would also like. Do you have any? Yes, the self-propelled artillery as well would be much appreciated.
Okay, wow. This midweek is gonna be absolutely insane. Mainly because
They're about to fucking They're about to fucking
Hey, I don't know if you did it.
all of Donetsk and Luhansk. They already capitulate Kharkiv. I
I
can't.
don't know if you saw, but the Netherlands said right here, Lucas, the Dutch security services, upon request of democracy supporters within Belarus, have been hunting down Russian agents within Belarus for the last week. I'm just letting whatever happen.
There's fucking Dutch hit squads in Belarus. What the fuck?
Okay, Matt, how bad are the sanctions fucking you?
Kind of bad. Let me take a look.
I saw 47% consumer goods.
42% consumer good, 33% stability.
That's a lower accurate.
Hey, sanctions were, Jay.
Oh, I
They
see.
most certainly were.